What's going on, everybody? I'm Matt Harmon. Welcome to the Yahoo Fantasy Forecast, and it is truly a hell of a day to talk ball. We have the full Week 6 preview for you here coming up. Justin Boone, all the questions we want answered for this week's slate of games. Literally no one's games of the week, and we got some true weirdo games to talk about, which perfectly transitions me into what we have to talk about, what we have to do here, as we always do on the preview show. We got a little Thursday Night Football recap for you. And yeah, we got a weird football game to talk about right here. Eagles lose to the New York Giants. Giants 34, Eagles 17. Did not see this one coming, but should we have seen it coming? That is the question of the day that we will attempt to answer. Boy, oh boy. Man, things are not good for the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get to them. Let's put them aside here for just a second because we always like to start with the winners of these football games when we do the solo recaps. That brings us to the New York Giants. Vibes matter. Man, this whole game could actually be summed up with vibes matter. Man, things are feeling. Look at these two guys. We're showing them on the YouTube screen right now. Jaxson Dart, Cam Skattebo, boogieing in the end zone. Getting it down. I mean, the whole Giants stadium was feeling it. Feels like we haven't seen the Giants stadium that into a game. I don't know, in like 4 years. I mean, were they even this happy during the 2022 run to the playoffs and Dayball's first year there? I don't know. I don't think so. People are obsessed. People are infected with Dart mania. They're infected with Skattebo fever, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. We can merge it all together. But man, the vibes are great with the New York Giants right now. And a lot of really good performances here too. I don't want to just make this a vibes thing, but last point on the vibes here for the Giants. If you were kind of convinced of just what these guys, the energy, the pop that they're bringing to the team right now, there was a moment in the second half, where Jaxson Dart gets kind of smashed between two Eagles defenders, and he's down on the ground. He does jog off the field on his own power, but it looked like a pretty scary scene for a moment. He goes into the blue medical tent. By the way, what a scene that was. One of the weirdest sideline medical tent things I've ever seen. You've got Brian Daboll, who, we all know is truly in love with Jaxson Dart. He loves the dude. That's obvious. He's yelling at the independent neurologist or the doctor, whoever it is. He's giving that guy the business about why he can't be out on the field. Cam Skattebo is going in there into the blue tent trying to clear Jaxson Dart to get back on the field. Shout out to PFT commentary. I saw that one from him. He tried to get in there to clear him himself. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson goes onto the field, and the entire stadium is just erupts in boos when he does a bunch of nothing at the line of scrimmage to throw a pass into the dirt. Again, just tanked the vibes, and then these guys come back in, and everything was fine from there. So just how irritated they were to have to see Russell Wilson. Irritated to see Russell Wilson for like just a couple of plays, and not have their golden boy, their new little beautiful golden boy, and Jaxson Dart out there. That's what's going on. That's the vibes right now with the New York Giants. But that's the last thing on the vibes. Let's move away to let's get to actual football here for a second. Cam Skattebo, 19 carries. Devin Singletary carries the ball 3 times. Tyron Tracy 4 times. And yeah, man, again, I hate to keep picking on the Russ stuff, sort of, but when Russ hands the ball off to Tyron Tracy, it was like, man, just the juice is just let out of the offense when you've got these two guys, Skattebo and Dart, back there just forming this wild, devil may care, wild horse tandem in the backfield. Just like, well, that didn't feel very good. That particular play, that play went nowhere. So again, the run game has been good for the New York Giants. I think we have to give a lot of credit to their offensive line. I feel like we say this about Andrew Thomas every single year, left tackle for the New York Giants. When he's not out there, you feel it. You just really feel his lack of presence. He's a guy who not only has given a true anchoring, kind of just calmness to the left tackle position and pass blocking. I also think his run blocking has been really good. They've been getting a lot of push generally. I mean, shoot, we're having tush push. I'm so tempted to get to Eagles here, but we're having tush push discourse again on the timeline, and then the Giants are over there being like, hey, remember, there's actually some other ways to gain 1 yard. You can put your big boy pants on, get a push with your offensive line, and you get your hammerhead running back, your Pachycephalosaurus running back there, and just drive his head through 1 yard, and he gets that thing. Incredible in short yardage in this one. 3 rushing touchdowns for Cam Skattebo. There's some realness to this for sure. I do think that, not to be a downer here in a really big, awesome moment for the New York Giants, but there is a part of me that thinks the Jaxson, Dart, Cam Skattebo, just the recklessness that these guys play with, that they're going to be a little bit of a burn bright but not burn long type of tandem, because they just play with so much violence. We already saw Dart get a little banged up in this game. Knock on wood, we don't see that again, because he is really fun to watch. Moving to Dart here, there were several impressive throws in this game. The one that he made under pressure to Theo Johnson late in the game to keep that thing moving, that was really impressive. Theo Johnson doesn't have a big game in this one or anything. 27 yards. He probably could have caught another pass. Was, maybe thrown a little under duress from Dart. He's moving in the pocket, but he lets that thing going to the ground. But you saw some moments from like a little Jordan Humphrey. Wan'Dale Robinson had some moments in this game. And Dart, just with his legs, continues to be a really just impressive quarterback. 3 quarterbacks have rushed for at least 50 yards in each of their first 3 starts in the Super Bowl era. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and now Jaxson Dart. We're going to put a pin in that Jalen Hurts comparison here for Jaxson Dart. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get back to that in just a second. But there has been some, he's just been really helpful, really useful as a rusher, and dangerous in some ways. Another stat that I saw last night from Underdog NFL account: most rushes by a quarterback in a game this season. 14 from Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, 12 from Justin Fields, 11 from Jaden Daniels, 10 from Jaxson Dart, twice. And then Trevor Lawrence and Drake May. And Dart ended up finishing with 13, I think mostly on the QB kneel down. So yeah, Dart as a rusher is real, which brings me to my player comparison for Jaxson Dart, which I actually kind of think is just Jalen Hurts, but he's a good hang. He's a guy you kind of want to hang out with, right? That seems like what Jaxson Dart is. I don't know. That is what it looks like to me at this point. And again, beyond the vibes-based analysis, kind of tongue-in-cheek there, it's that they have a lot of similarities as passers too. I think that Dart at some point will have to develop, throwing over the intermediate middle of the field. You guys know I'm a sucker for that. I think that's where the game is won and lost in the NFL today. We'll see how he gets there. But for now, I think he operates in the quick game pretty well. I think his processing speed looks pretty good, and he really does throw that go route incredibly well. And he doesn't got anybody to throw that go route to. It's not going to be Jalen Hyatt. Little Jordan Humphrey early on in the game, like the first drive, I believe it was, just rebound up there on a go route. It's little Jordan Humphrey. He's played for like a bajillion teams. I think this is the first time he hasn't played for Sean Payton, So, when they get it is a real shame that Malik Neighbors is not here for this. That is a bummer hanging over all of it. But if you're a Malik Neighbors dynasty bag holder and you're waiting for him to get back in 2026, it's at least nice to see they might have a quarterback here in New York. It's been a couple of games. We'll see how it plays out over the course of the season, but we're trending in a good direction here with the Jaxson Dart stuff. But yeah, the go route ability, I want to see him with a true, because Malik Neighbors is a great receiver. He's not necessarily just this guy. I'm thinking like a big ball winner, rebounder type, Devontae Parker in his prime. Just throw that thing up to him and go get him. Devontae Parker in his prime is kind of a funny sentence to say, but regardless, that's the type of player I think that would just make a lot of plays with Dart. So I really enjoyed the Giants tonight. I think Dart played well. I think obviously Brian Daboll has been craving all along to run this type of offense, and he's found his guy to do it. And Cam Skattebo just adds this wild man dynamic with it. And he is an every week fantasy starter right now. He is an every week fantasy starter in this role where he is the clear cut bell cow here in this New York Giants backfield. Again, Is he going to be around for a long time with this playing style? I don't know, but he sure as hell is going to be around for a good time. 75% of the running back touches went to Cam Skattebo, despite the fact that Devin Singletary is back or is out there, and Tyron Tracy is back from injury. So I think that's going to continue to happen. All right, now it's time to have the uncomfortable conversation, which is about the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I don't know, where the hell do we even begin? I mean, once again, it felt as if the Eagles were calling plays to solve personal problems, right? They have this 2-hour meeting between Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley. I don't know what they talked about in that 2-hour meeting, but didn't look like it brought anything to the field. 64% pass rate in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. This was after the 80% pass rate last week. They're trying to lean into the passing game. They just don't have a lot of answers, and it's like compounding problems to me in Philadelphia. I know Kevin Patullo is everybody's, it's him. He's at fault here. I think there has been a significant downgrade from Kellen Moore, who I think was and is an underrated offensive designer and play caller as well, but especially a designer of offense. That has been a significant downgrade because now they're just kind of back to running what I think is the rather vanilla Jalen Hurts lean into his strengths offense, but without all of the bells and whistles that we got and just pushing the right buttons at the right time. It's so similar, but I think potentially even worse than what we got when Shane Steichen left, and they basically tried to run the same offense the next year with Brian Johnson as the offense coordinator, and that just did not go very well. The results were not there. From a fantasy perspective, guys still scored points, but like the bottom line efficiency results were not there for the Philadelphia Eagles that year, and they're not going to be there this year. But some guys come out of this with good performances, right? Like if you're just a true fantasy head, you're like, oh, A.J. Brown finally had 80 yards. Great. In the structure of the play too. Devontae Smith had 4 for 49. Just don't watch that long go route that Jalen Hurts has completely missed him on, a busted coverage. And that's the thing too with this Eagles team. That's supposed to be the Jalen Hurts play. Like, again, what we just said with Dart earlier, where it's the go routes and the placement there, the ability to drive it into, down the field outside the numbers. This is supposed to be the Jalen Hurts play. He's missing that. And it's just when he misses that, it feels so cataclysmic because they can't do anything in structure and on schedule in this offense. The running game is once again a problem. 4.8 yards per carry for Saquon Barkley. He had a long run of 18 yards, his first carry of the game. He rips off an 18-yard run. And then that was pretty much it. We had one more, like kind of nice run from him. But again, they called just 12 rushes with Saquon Barkley on the rest of the day. He plays 80.4% of the snaps, 92.3% of the rushes in terms of the running backs. The only other guy that saw the field was A.J. Dillon, which I don't want to pick on A.J. Dillon, but what is A.J. Dillon doing out there in like passing downs for this team? Out there, not getting opportunities. 3 opportunities in this game, I suppose, but he's out there, playing passing downs. What was the point of the Tank Bigsby trade? Can somebody talk to me about that one here real quick? I just love this guy on kick returns, but there was a little bit of a dust up about Saquon Barkley getting on the injury report earlier this week, and people, is it Will Shipley? Is it A.J. Dillon? Is it Tank Bigsby? Tank Bigsby is just the kick returner, and like A.J. Dillon's playing snaps in this game. I don't know. That was weird. That was a bit bizarre. We're throwing the ball to A.J. Dillon. Predictably doesn't go very well. So I don't know. The whole thing is very bizarre, but Saquon, just 15 opportunities in this game, 12 carries. That's just bizarre when they were mostly a run-heavy offense. That being said, their offensive line is a problem on the interior. Obviously, Landon Dickerson's hurt. Tyler Steen has been banged up. Like, everybody's been banged up in the interior, and it's taken an offensive line that was one of the biggest weapons in the NFL last season And it's made it now just something that people aren't all that scared of right now. Saquon Barkley had a run of 0 or negative yards on 42% of his carries tonight. How often did that happen last year? 0.33 yards before contact per rush attempt for Saquon Barkley in this game. I mean, these numbers are just so dramatically, vastly different than what we saw last year, to the point that, runs of 0 or negative yards for Saquon Barkley in 2024, 17.1%, yards before contact per rush, 1.12. Yeah, Ted Wynn from The Athletic says Saquon Barkley's getting the same run blocking that he's had for years at MetLife. And it's just like, all right, everything falls apart. Everything falls apart when this offensive line can't do what it does and the running game can't dominate, because in the passing game, the designs are whatever. It's okay. It's just whatever. It's not egregious or so. It's not some of the Shane Waldron stuff that we've seen, in the past. We were talking about bad passing game designs as an offensive coordinator. Go look at what was happening in Chicago last year. There's been some bad pass game designs. This Eagles stuff it's just whatever. It's not offensive, but it's not helping anybody, because you're supposed to be, hey, you're the team with superstars. Well, I think your number one wide receiver is still not playing like a superstar. You can point to some of the plays tonight, and there were some misses, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the misses feel so cataclysmic for this team, because last year A.J. Brown was the best receiver. It was the best receiver I charted against man coverage. He's not trending that way right now. So those lack of opportunities, when you don't have them, when you don't take advantage of the ones that are there, the rest of the plays, there's a diminishing return. I don't know, like, if even A.J. Brown, like, how often he's the first read in some of these concepts. It doesn't look like, when you're watching this team both live on the Next Gen Stats broadcast. Shout out to Sam Schwartzstein, by the way, birth of the child. Shout out to Sam. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations to you, the family. Hope everything is great. Sam is an awesome guy. So it doesn't look like it when you're watching the broadcast, when you're watching back on film. It doesn't look like A.J. Brown's first read in the concept, which just still leads to me thinking, like, what is going on here? There's just something is not right. The spidey senses are tingling. Devontae Smith, then, like, when you don't hit him on that one big play, you're only throwing the ball to him 5 times in this game. It's not enough. The tight end stuff, actually, I think is pretty cool. I'll give Kevin Petula this. Maybe he's in the lab all offseason when they were thinking about trying to trade or maybe release Dallas Goedert. Something like, we got to weaponize the tight ends here, because Dallas Goedert has been very productive in this offense, and some of the play designs to him have been very good. Like, I've really enjoyed them. So, God, it just feels weird. It feels like these guys all freaking hate each other right now. I mean, this team has some of the worst vibes I've ever seen from a team that is supposed to be good. A team that was 4-1 coming into this game is now only 4-2 in a division that should still be winnable. I mean, but these guys, again, they all look like they freaking hate each other. 6.1 yards per play for the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, which was much better than the New York Giants on the evening. However, couldn't run the ball. One team could. One team converted a first down on 68.8% of their third downs. The other, which was the New York Giants, the other team, 11%. 11% third down conversions for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pathetic stuff. That's what that was tonight. It was pathetic. And when you have a team with the guys that have the names on the back of the jersey, that I don't think those guys are all playing to that level. That is my personal opinion. But the names on the back of the jerseys, it just shouldn't feel like this. It shouldn't feel where everybody's got that 1,000-yard stare. I mean, I think it was the wide receiver coach was talking to Devontae Smith at the end of the game, one of the sideline shots they had, and it looks like Devontae looks like he's about to he's about to cry. Like, he looks so upset by what's happening here. And yeah, these guys should be pissed. They should be pissed at what's happening right now. I just think something's in the water with this Eagles team. I feel like it could get, maybe I'm being dramatic here on a Thursday night at almost midnight. Totally fair if you think that. Just feels like something's in the water here, and it could get worse before it gets better. That's my feeling on this. And for the New York Giants, just again, last shout out. I don't know what the ceiling is. I'm not going to rush out here in 3 games and go crazy with any proclamations, but they've got something. We'll put it at that. They've got something building with Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo and this love triangle with Brian Daboll there. They definitely need, some more receiving help. That's for sure. I would love to see them go out and make a trade for a veteran wide receiver, and there should be some guys available. I would love to see that, because let's just get someone in the mix here to win on some of those go balls, to win on some of these quick hitters. I think DJ Moore actually would be a really good fit. But yeah, I do think there's something here. There's something here to this Giants team where maybe they just feasted on an Eagles team that's circling the drain, but it's a really tough schedule coming up for the New York Giants. I'm a little bit more open-minded that it's going to be more interesting than I thought it was. And again, probably 24 hours ago, I thought they were just going to go wax the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens.